Good morning, my vibrations. It's V to the I to the B to the mother of 5E. And we are back. The Power of Intention by Dr. Wayne Dyer. Chapter 2, The 7 Faces of Intention. 4,000 volumes of metaphysics will not teach us what the soul is. And that's from Voltaire. Moving from thinking about intention to knowing intention. Yesterday, while writing this book here on Maui, I experienced a knowing that I'll attempt to explain to you. A woman from Japan was pulled from the surf, her body bloated from an excessive intake of seawater. I knelt over her with others, attempting to get her heartbeat going with CPR, while many of her friends from Japan cried out in anguish as the futile attempts at resuscitation proceeded. Suddenly, I felt a quiet awareness of this woman's spirit hovering above our life-saving attempts. As I watched the rescue scene on the beach, I felt the presence of blissfully peaceful energy, and in some unfathomable way, I knew that she wasn't going to be revived and that she was no longer connected to the body that so many well-meaning people, including myself, were trying to bring back to life. This quiet knowing led me to stand up, put my hands together, and say a silent prayer for her. We were from different parts of this world and didn't even share a common language, yet I felt connected to her. I felt peaceful, with a knowing that her spirit and mind were somehow connected in the mystery of the transient, ephemeral nature of our physical lives. As I walked away, the pain of death wasn't dominating my thoughts. Instead, I knew and felt that the departure of this woman's spirit from what was now a lifeless, bloated body was inexplicably all a part of perfect divine order. I couldn't prove it. I had no scientific evidence. I didn't think it. I knew it. This is an example of what I mean by silent knowledge. I still feel her presence as I write this 24 hours later. In Power of Silence, Carlos Castaneda describes silent knowledge as something that all of us have, something that has complete mastery, complete knowledge of everything, but it cannot think, therefore it cannot speak of what it knows. Man has given up silent knowledge for the world of reason. The more he clings to the world of reason, the more inferior intent becomes. Ephemeral. Ephemeral. Since intention is being presented in this book as an invisible energy field that is inherent in all physical form, intention then is a part of an inexplicable, non-material world of spirit. Spirit eludes our attempts to explain and define it because it's dimension beyond beginnings and endings. Spirit eludes our attempts to explain and define it because it's a dimension beyond beginnings and ending, beyond boundaries, beyond symbols, and beyond form itself. Consequently, written and spoken words, our symbols for communicating our experiences in this world, can't really explain spirit the way they do the physical world. I agree with Voltaire's statement at the beginning of this chapter and readily admit that I can't definitively teach anyone what spirit is or use words that give a precise picture of what it looks like. What I can do is describe a way that I conceptualize intention, if it were somehow possible to remove the veil that keeps the field of intention from our sensory perception and reasoning mind. I'll give you my concept of what I refer to as the 7 faces of intention. These points represent my imagined picture of what the power of intention looks like. Intention is something that I believe we can feel, connect with, know, and trust. It's an inner awareness that we explicitly feel and yet at the same time cannot truly describe with words. I use this concept to help guide me toward the power of intention. That's the source of creation and activate it in my daily life. It's my hope that you too will begin to recognize what you personally need to do to begin activating intention in your life. The descriptions that follow are distilled from my experience with master teachers, my professional work with others over the past 30 years, the veritable library of metaphysical books I've read and studied, and my own personal evolution. I'm attempting to convey my personal knowing of the extraordinary benefits of linking to intention. Hopefully, you will feel inspired by the silent knowing of the power of intention and go on to create an increasingly enchanted experience for yourself and everyone else in your life. Silent knowledge starts when you invite the power of intention to play an active part in your life. This is a private and very personal choice that needn't be explained or defended. When you make this inner choice, silent knowledge will gradually become a part of your normal everyday awareness. Opening to the power of intention, you begin knowing that conception, birth, and death are all natural aspects of the energy field of creation. Clinging to attempts to think or reason your way to intention is futile. By banishing doubt and trusting your intuitive feelings, you clear a space for the power of intention to flow through. This may sound like hocus pocus, but I prefer to think of it as emptying my mind and entering the heart of mystery. Here, I set aside rational thoughts and open to the magic and excitement of an illuminating new awareness. A great teacher in my life named J. Krishnamurti once observed, to be empty, completely empty, is not a fearsome thing. It is an absolutely essential for the mind to be unoccupied, to be empty, unenforced, for then only can it move into unknown depths. Take a moment right now to put this book down and allow yourself to trust and gently experience an awareness of your non-physical self. First, close your eyes and empty your mind of rational thoughts and the multitudinous, ever-changing chatter that goes on. Next, hit the delete button every time doubt appears. Finally, open to the emptiness. Then you can begin to discover how to silently know the power of intention. In the following chapter, I'll discuss in more depth other ways to access and reconnect to intention. But now I'll describe what I think our view might be if we would be outside of ourselves, floating above our body, like the spirit of the Japanese lady on the beach yesterday. From this perspective, I imagine myself looking at the faces of intention through eyes that are capable of seeing higher vibrations. And that's where I'm going to stop this morning. And I will come back today and read the rest of this chapter because I just wanted to come and give you like my little excerpt before I head to work, and because that story just reminded me of when I found out that when I got the call that my mom had passed away. It was around 8:50 p.m. and my dad, my grandfather, had called me and he told me, and it was an hour after she passed away that I found out. And when he told me and I hung up the phone and I had time to just sit there and process it, I felt this overwhelming peace in my heart. And I knew it was her letting me know that she was okay and letting me, because I was not able to be there. I did not even know to be there to say my final goodbyes, but I was able to say my final goodbyes prior to maybe a week or two before she actually passed away. So I knew she knew how I felt. And when I felt that peace, I knew. And going through that was the hardest, but I felt her presence. Sometimes I smelled her perfume. And for the longest time, I would be feeling down like I am today. This morning, I don't understand. I have this really big headache. And I don't know if it's sinuses, but I woke up with a headache. I felt good last night when I went to bed, but when I woke up, it was a headache. And I just remember going through that time and being so, I don't know. I was dealing with my son with his femur being broken the day after she passed away, being in the hospital, not being able to to be a part of planning her funeral, not being included in the obituary. That really hurt. It was just a lot I was going through. And I would notice that I could be sitting there and I'd be so in a really bad place mentally and emotionally, and I would just feel myself just like felt like somebody's arms were around me and they were just rocking me and rocking me, but I wouldn't be moving. And I kind of knew that that was her just letting me know, okay, I'm here, it's going to be okay. And that kept me really strong. So being brought back to this book is really helping me, because now I'm like really putting myself back into that place where I was able to use the intention that I have. And my intentions right now are to get myself in a more positive place, because these past couple of months I haven't been in a positive place. And energy transfers just from people you're around, and you can pick up on some of their energies. And I believe that's what I have done. I've picked up on some of these energies that I just don't care to have in my realm anymore. So that is part 1 of chapter 2, and I'll be back because I'm going to read the rest of that today, but I got to head out to work, and I will see you guys later. Thanks again for joining me as we read The Power of Intention by Dr. Wayne Dyer. If you want to go out and get this book, great book. I advise anybody to get it. I had 3 copies I lost one. I loaned one, and something happened to it, and they never gave it back to me. And I brought another one, and I thought I lost that one, but I didn't. So I brought another one. But The Power of Intention. What are your intentions today? My intentions are to get to work, teach my Tabata class, come home, come down here in my office, and just get some things together, because I feel I need to be in my own space rather than upstairs in the living room where everything is going on. You guys have a great day. I'll see you guys later for 100 Day Reality Challenge and for the rest of chapter 2.